Hi all, in this video we will see how to set up Unicast support. So to perform this task we need to have atom management privilege. Now I'm going to demonstrate this, how to set up the Unicast support on a molecule. So select manage and navigate to atom management page. This is a molecule on which I'm going to set up the Unicast support. So select the molecule, go to settings and configuration, select properties. Once the molecule properties are loaded, select the advanced tab. So from here, I'm going to add the Unicast support properties and configure the values. So select the cluster network transport type property and configure that property with Unicast value. Select cluster network transport type property from the dropdown. Add a property. Configure it with Unicast. So the next property is TCP port for Unicast. So the default port is 7800. But if your molecule node or the cloud molecule uh, is having any conflict with that port, if any application on the molecule node is using that port, you can configure a different port for the TCP port for Unicast property. So select TCP port for Unicast support and add that property. I'm going to configure 7800, which is a default port. And next property is initial host for Unicast property. Before adding this property, I'm going to add two more optional properties. And these properties are used to customize the auto detection of initial host. One of that is minimum number of hosts for Unicast property, Unicast auto detection property. So minimum number of hosts for Unicast auto detect. Add the property, and I'm going to add the default value, which is 2, but you can configure with any different value based on your runtime requirements. And other properties, timeout for Unicast auto detect. Unicast auto detect. Add the property and configure it with 30 seconds, which is a default value. If we add 30 seconds, this means the node will wait for 30 seconds for the other host to show up in the views folder, installation bin views folder. But you can configure with more than 30 seconds as well, based on your runtime requirements. And now I'm going to configure the last property, which is the initial host for Unicast property. Add the property and configure this property with the initial host host machines which you want to specify here. You can specify one or more as an initial host. This is a molecule with 2 nodes. This is a molecule with 2 nodes. I'm going to mention both the nodes as initial host for Unicast property. You can specify one or more hosts in this. I'm going to specify both the values. So these are the IPs of my nodes. You can add the IPs in any order, add these values in any order. So add the IP and the square bracket, add the TCP port for unicast support 7800. If you add a different port for the unicast support, then you can mention that port number in the square bracket, comma, uh, the other node IP. 7800. Um, these are the five properties for the unicast setup, and these are the optional properties. And after adding these properties, click on save. It will ask for the restart. You can do a restart now or restart later, but a restart is required to enable these properties on the molecule. Thank you.